Welcome back to Poorly Educated Today in the News. The world continues proving that reality has officially entered its confusing spin-off season, where nothing makes sense but everything is somehow still connected. Every day feels like a new episode of global chaos, where the plot twists faster than gas prices during a holiday weekend. So let's try to make sense of the nonsense before the nonsense makes sense of us. Segment 1: Airport Hunger Games and the government's missing wallet. Back here at home, the government shutdown has entered week 6, which means federal workers are now getting paid in stress and expired vending machine crackers. TSA agents have reportedly missed about $1 billion in paychecks, and absentee rates are climbing faster than my blood pressure when the self-checkout machine says unexpected item in bagging area. To keep airports running, immigration and customs enforcement agents are being reassigned to help at security checkpoints, which sounds like the beginning of a reality show called Guess Who's Qualified for This Job. We've reached the point where airport security lines might require camping equipment, trail mix, and emotional support livestock. And just to keep things spicy, the World Cup is less than 80 days away. So millions of international visitors will soon arrive to experience the uniquely American tradition of standing in a slow-moving line while wondering if they accidentally packed shampoo that is 1 ounce too large. The grounded reality is that government shutdowns don't just affect politicians yelling on television. They affect real workers who still have mortgages, groceries, and kids who expect dinner more than once a week. The whole system right now feels like a tractor missing 2 wheels, but we're still expected to plow the whole field. Segment 2: Tech companies discover consequences exist. In a legal decision that probably made several Silicon Valley executives spill their oat milk lattes, a major court ruling just punched a hole in the armor that tech companies have been hiding behind for decades. A lawsuit successfully argued that social media algorithms contributed to serious mental health harm, and suddenly Section 230 protections are looking shakier than a lawn chair at a family reunion. Tech companies are now discovering that designing platforms to keep people scrolling forever might come with consequences, which is shocking news only if you've never met a teenager who's been staring at their phone since the Obama administration. This ruling could open the floodgates to lawsuits faster than a beaver chewing through a dam made of legal disclaimers. If companies are held responsible for how their algorithms shape behavior, we might finally see apps designed to help people log off instead of emotionally attaching themselves to strangers arguing about soup online. The grounded observation is that technology has moved faster than regulation for years, and now the legal system is trying to catch up while wearing flip-flops on a gravel road. It turns out when you build a machine that feeds outrage 24 hours a day, eventually somebody asks why everybody feels angry all the time. Segment 3: AI writes its own weird fan fiction. In what might be the most honest metaphor for artificial intelligence so far, a police department testing AI report-writing software discovered the program hallucinated a story about an officer turning into a frog. Turns out background audio from a Disney movie confused the system, which honestly explains half the internet at this point. If AI can misunderstand a children's movie that badly, I'm slightly concerned about letting it decide mortgage approvals or whether my online shopping habits qualify as a personality. Even law students are now struggling to distinguish between real lawsuits and fictional ones, because reality has gotten so bizarre that satire is having trouble keeping up. The grounded takeaway here is that technology still requires human supervision, especially when it starts inventing amphibian law enforcement officers. Artificial intelligence is powerful, but sometimes it still needs a human to say, "Buddy." I'm pretty sure Officer Kermit is not on the official police roster. Segment 4: Quantum batteries and the race to charge everything instantly. Scientists are now working on something called a quantum battery, which sounds like the thing that powers a UFO or possibly the remote control that disappears every time you want to watch something specific. This technology could theoretically charge faster the bigger it gets, which is the exact opposite of every phone charger I've ever owned that slows down the moment you actually need it. Meanwhile, artificial intelligence continues spreading into everything from phones to medical research, meaning your refrigerator may soon know more about your eating habits than your doctor does. On one hand, faster charging and smarter technology could transform energy systems and make devices more efficient. On the other hand, we're trusting algorithms with increasingly important decisions, which feels like letting the GPS pick the restaurant, the job, and possibly who you marry. The grounded reality is that technological breakthroughs can improve productivity and quality of life, but they also require careful oversight, so we don't accidentally invent a toaster that refuses to make toast until you accept updated terms and conditions. At this rate, even my tractor might need a software update before it lets me cut grass. Segment 5. Healthcare breakthroughs stuck in traffic. Medical researchers are making incredible progress using artificial intelligence to model diseases and develop treatments faster than ever, while at the exact same time global supply chains are getting tangled up worse than Christmas lights stored in a coffee can. Some of the materials needed for medications and medical equipment rely on international shipping routes currently affected by geopolitical tension, meaning the future of healthcare is simultaneously advancing and tripping over its own shoelaces. We're basically inventing the medical equivalent of flying cars, while still struggling to keep the pharmacy shelves fully stocked. The grounded observation is that modern medicine relies on global cooperation, from raw materials to manufacturing to distribution. When those networks are disrupted, even the most advanced research can run into real-world limitations. It's like building the world's fastest race car, but forgetting to make sure the gas station is open. Innovation is exciting, but logistics still matters. And right now, logistics looks like it just spilled coffee on its own paperwork. Segment 6. Global conflict and the price of everything going up. Apparently, the global economy is now being held together with duct tape, expired coupons, and whatever change we can find in the truck cup holder. The United States, Israel, and Iran are currently playing the world's most expensive game of chicken, and the Strait of Hormuz is basically the world's gas station parking lot when somebody blocks pump number 3 and nobody knows whose fault it is. Oil prices are spiking so fast, the numbers on the sign look like they're trying to qualify for the Olympics. And naturally, the solution appears to be sending thousands of troops, while also considering buying oil from the same country we're arguing with. Which feels a lot like punching a guy and then asking if he can spot you $5 for lunch. Meanwhile, the International Energy Agency is warning about global economic shock, which is economist language for buckle up, buttercup, everything's about to cost more. The shipping lanes are tense, the markets are nervous, and your Amazon packages might soon come with a note saying delivery estimated between tomorrow and the heat death of the universe. The grounded observation here is that when energy prices jump, everything jumps with it. Groceries, rent, shipping, even the cost of complaining about groceries and rent. At this point, the global economy feels like an old riding mower that only starts if you jiggle the key, kick the tire, and threaten it personally. In conclusion, the world right now feels like somebody shook the global snow globe a little too hard, and now everything is swirling at once. Wars, markets, technology, politics, and the occasional frog-themed police report. We're living in a moment where massive global decisions are colliding with everyday life, affecting gas prices, jobs, technology, and even the speed of airport security lines. The chaos may feel overwhelming, but understanding what's happening helps us see how all these strange headlines are connected. And if the news keeps getting any stranger, we may soon need AI just to explain why the AI keeps making things weirder.